guys, we're in the airport getting ready to head to Austin, Texas for La Primavera Lago Vista. Let's go. We made it. We're in Texas. Our grandparents are about to pick us up, and then we're actually camping with them in their trailer. So we're gonna go head to the campsite, build our bikes up, and hopefully go pre-ride the TT course. Let's go. Yo, yo, Pop. Thanks for picking us up.
It's heavy. I thought these bikes were light.
Hey, Nana. Got the bikes all built up. Pretty cold out, but we're gonna go for a ride. We got Micah, he's got the BRB jersey, let's go. Gonna go do some race openers.
We're getting a little race opener ride in, and then we'll be off for tomorrow.
I'm in the 17-18 category. Eli is doing 15-16s. They're scored separate, but race together. So it should be interesting. We're looking forward to it. Eli, how are you feeling?
I'm pretty cold right now, but for the weekend, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be an awesome weekend.
Yeah, so tomorrow's the TT, probably gonna be around 14 minutes. And then Saturday, Sunday is the same road race course, but in opposite directions, 59 miles. There's some crazy pitches, some fast descents. So it should make for a super interesting race. My fingers are freezing off. That was a pretty good ride.
Yeah,
Pretty flat. Texas is very flat. That's what we've learned.
Flat. I mean, there are hillier areas, but
Micah took us on a pretty wild route, but it was fun.
Alright guys, so morning, like 11:30, we're headed off to the TT and we're gonna go drive over there and then go warm up. It's on a racetrack. It's where they do the driveway series, so
Should be pretty sweet. Eli's TT's at like 2:20. I'm at like 4 o'clock, so I'll have a lot of time, but hoping that we can put a lot of power out and go super fast. Let's go.
I raced in like 20 minutes. It's gonna be a wild one. It's gonna be on a racetrack, so we'll see how that one goes.
I gotta get pinned up, start warming up, and then it's my turn. Up, yeah. Up. All right, Eli, just finished the TT. How was it?
It was pretty good. I did like 3:25 for 14 minutes. I did it in like 14:03-ish for all 4 laps. So the hill was, you had to sprint up it, but I honestly had to sprint after the hill to get back up to speed. But other than that, I think I did pretty good.
Felt
I
good out
one,
there?
but I did pretty good for a TT.
Nice job. Post TT, I did a pretty solid effort. Ended up in 16th place. Happy with that. I was like 23 seconds behind first. And so now we're going to a junior dinner at Progress Coffee and Beer. Should be a fun time. They're having the podiums here, so let's go eat.
Yeah, it seems so dangerous.
All right. Nice guy. Breakfast day 2.
here. Day 2. We got the road race. We'll be off. And then, man, it's hot. It's hot today for us SoCal guys. So it's gonna be a good race. 58 miles, 11 laps, like 5,000 feet of elevation. So don't get dropped. That's the thing. Don't get dropped. Try and get some points if they have any. But we're doing good, so let's go.
Number 1 feeder right here, videographer. Feeling good before the start of the race.
Right here until the finish, then I'll go down here.
Feeling good before the start of the race. It's pretty hot outside. Legs are a little tired from the TT yesterday, but
Is that cool?
should be fun. The climbs are
We're good.
pretty steep.
Alright.
But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Let's go start the road race.
All right, day 2. This is the first road race, and the course, it was a pretty hot day. The course was like a nice drag the first half, and on the way back, it was a steep downhill with a nice kicker at the finish line. So it was a really hard day. Let's jump right into it. Lots of attacks. Let's go.
Yeah, so going into this race, the plan for Eli and I was to sit in as much as possible and conserve energy. Eli was gonna watch moves the first half, and hopefully I would be the guy for the second half. But the 2 big teams in this race, EF on 2 and Hot Tubes, we were really watching them. If they were not in a move, it was their responsibility to pull it back. And if they were both up the road, then we had to make sure we were in there too. So Eli did a great job at the first half of the race, just covering moves, and yeah, always trying to be represented. And then later in the race, it was up to me to try to make the moves happen.
So like Jack said, I was kind of trying to make it happen in the first half, and then I kind of lost it the second half. But I was just trying to, at that point, not to get dropped, and trying to help Jack as much as possible so that he could get a good result.
Yeah, so Eli gets into this move right here. I believe this is Presley bridging up, and Eli tries to follow. I think there's, in this break, 3 EF riders and no Hot Tubes, so this was really threatening for Hot Tubes. And I believe Velosport was also represented, so a pretty crazy move. And Eli was in there for us, so but it did end up getting brought back like a lap later. So yeah, more just sitting in. And then the big move had EF, Hot Tubes, I believe a Kelly Benefits rider, and like 1 or 2 other people who I don't remember. But that was like, for us, we were not in that move, and that was like alarm bells going off, and they stayed off the front for like 3 laps, which was wild. I was near the end, one of the riders helping bridge them back, because yeah, it was a really threatening move, and I did not want that to get away. But then yeah, Eli, how are you feeling at this point, and what was the plan going forward?
Yeah, I was just trying not to get dropped, and like people were letting the gaps go because it was really hot, and we had to do this course like 11 times. So yeah, that was really hard and really put some fatigue on the legs.
Yeah, so after we caught that big threatening breakaway, I could tell everyone was super tired, and so I decided to throw some attacks. I countered that move, and everyone jumped on. It got brought back, and then I got countered, and I hopped in the wheels, and then they slowed down. I was carrying speed. We were on the climb, and I just kind of rolled by on the left side. Gray hops on my wheel from EF, and we get a little gap, and then Enzo from Hot Tubes bridges up, and he's like, we've got a big gap, let's roll this thing. And so we start taking turns, and by the top of the climb on the descent, the moto comes up to us and tells us that we have a 35-second gap. So we're really trying to push and make this thing happen. For me and Eli, this is our best shot. So yeah, I was all in for this move.
So back in the field, it was very like slow. Everybody was tired. I was tired. And I had a guy up there, EF had a guy up there, and Hot Tubes had a guy up there. So it was up to the other teams to pull this back, but none of them did. So yeah, y'all just kept on getting a bigger gap, and y'all just send it.
Yeah, we ended up getting 3.5 minutes on the field by the end of the race, except for Presley. from EF, who was trying to bridge up but never quite got there. He was just kind of in no man's land. So let's skip to the end of this race and see how the break played out.
All right, we're almost to the finish. The group of 3 is up ahead, Jack, you included. And how are you feeling, and what is your plan?
Yeah, so no one has attacked up until this point. To be honest, the legs were pretty gassed. I'm beat at this point. So we're going into the sprint. Enzo is like a really good sprinter. Gotta give him credit. So I knew that going into this. I did not want to really go heads up in a sprint with him. So I was going to try and jump him a little bit early. So you can see he keeps looking back over his right shoulder. It was a bummer. I forgot we were allowed to use the full lane road. But so after he looks back this final time, I decide to jump on his left side, and he looks over his right and doesn't see me. So that gives me like another half a second. And I'm just going full gas. They start sprinting, him and Gray from behind. And yeah, my legs and calves everything's cramping in my body at this point. I'm just trying to give it all to the line. He gets in my slipstream and nicks me in like the last 25 meters. But I held on for second, so still a huge result. And yeah, I was happy with that just to make the winning break. And yeah, it was a great day on the bike. I was cooked though, cramping everywhere and just so tired. So Eli, how did the finish play out behind for the 15-16s and the rest of the field?
Yeah, so it was a pretty like mass sprint. So I was trying to get in position, but couldn't really get there. I was feeling a few cramps as well. So I tried to sprint up the hills, but I really had nothing. I got like 6th in the 15-16 sprint. But yeah, it was an overall good day for you. That was great for me, but we're looking forward for tomorrow.
Post-race, I made it in the break and was able to sprint for second. Enzo came around me in like the last 25 meters. But huge result for me. And then Eli, how did you finish behind?
They kind of lit it up the last half lap. So I wasn't really in good position. So I got like probably 9th in the field sprint and like 3rd or 4th or 5th in the 15-16. But it was a hard race, a really hard road race. It was harder than the Voss. And man, tomorrow's gonna be even harder.
Yeah, my legs are so sore right now. The bottom of my feet hurt too so bad. But we're gonna go do the podium and then get a good dinner, get a good night's rest, and go do it again tomorrow.
Yep.
Let's go. Final day of La Primavera Lago Vista. Another road race, same course but opposite direction. So instead of going down that 17% hill, we get to go up it today in a headwind too. So there's gonna be some fierce attacks. I'm tired, I'm pretty sore from yesterday, but the game plan is sit in, try to save energy for the second half, and then hopefully when everyone's tired, I don't know, try to hit it, follow some more promising looking moves. Let's go start the road race.
Rose Ride Bikes videographer Luke Zainfeld, ready to go. You gonna get some good shots?
Yes.
Claire, what do you think of this bicycle
Sebastian
race?
Beck and
It's pretty good. We're gonna try to get Eli some water this time.
Yep.
We're gonna try.
Okay.
Hard to hand out the water bottles. Eli grabbed it and it went flying. Flew out of his hand. So we're gonna try again on the next lap.
Alrighty, jumping into day 2. We are super fatigued from yesterday, but I think so was everyone else. So that big 17% hill that we went down the day before, we now get the privilege of going up it today. So it was a real ball buster, super full gas just every single lap. But so starting out here, we were supposed to keep going straight there. The field made a wrong turn, and so the moto officials came up next to us and neutralized the field, brought us to a complete halt. And Eli, you had a little minor crash, and I went off the road. So it was a pretty wild sketch moment.
Yeah, I was holding my water bottle and everybody started shoving brakes, so I like shoved too much brake and went over the handlebars a little bit, but I was all right. Just waiting for the whole group to start to get going again, and they were like gonna DNF everybody, but then it didn't really make sense. So it was, in the end, it was all good, but it was just kind of annoying. So let's jump in right into the rest of the race.
Yeah, so honestly, it was a pretty boring day for me for the first half of this race. I kind of just sat in and did nothing. That hill, it was like so hard every single lap to go up. So yeah, I was chilling in the field for most of the day. And then, Eli, you were pretty active for the first half, right?
Kinda. I wasn't really at the front during the hill because all the teams were like looking for who would attack on the hill. And then it would just get really fast, and like the drag after the hill was tough. That was very long, and so you would just hurt the whole time. But I was trying to keep somewhat close to the front, but yeah, just trying not to get in any breaks or do anything, and save it for the sprint.
Yeah, so we're gonna jump ahead here. We're going into 2 laps to go, and we are on the descent, and I am ready to start a break. I was fired up after yesterday and wanted to try and make something happen, and so the field is going full gas on this descent. There's a small lull, and so I decided to try to go off the front. And yeah, this one rider in the rear cam follows, but then he looks back and sees that we have a gap and no hot tubes and EF are with us, so he falls back. So then I'm off the front solo, which is not really what you want on this course. It was a hot, windy day. So yeah, I get caught on the climb, and I had been going pretty hard, and I barely get back into this field. I kind of get caught off the back, but I'm with Beckham and Zach, and we are chasing full gas, and we catch back on this descent. And yeah, now I'm trying to just recover for the next lap, so that we can try to get a good finish in the legs. Eli, where are you and how are you feeling?
Yeah, I was just trying to not get dropped on the hill, and it was like a crosswind as well, so it was that was also annoying. So, and, in overall, like it was a hard race, like a very tough, challenging, hard race, and I was just trying to make it to the finish, don't get dropped, and try to stay with that front group.
Yeah, so right before we head into 1 lap to go, a group of 3 sends it on the descent. It's Chandler, Presley, and Otis, I believe, and they end up getting a really good gap and staying away for the podium spots. I think they got like a minute on the field. So yeah, huge ride for those guys. And now we're going up this climb, and everyone's just battling it out. There's GC on the line. And so the group actually splits on this climb, and I'm still dead from my previous effort. So I'm in the second group, and you can see here on the left, they have about, like, I would say a 15 to 30 second gap. So we're trying to chase hard, but I mean, we're so tired, and hot tubes and EF that are in the second group aren't helping. So we're kind of just, it's too little too late at this point, and so we're sprinting for 11th out of this second group. And yeah, going into it, Eli, you're dead. You started cramping, and I was just trying to give it everything to the line. I got like 5th or 6th out of this field sprint. So yeah, not the best result day 2. I ended up 16th on the day. But yeah, it was a great weekend of racing, and honestly, I really loved these courses. And yeah, it was just great racing all these juniors. Eli, where did you finish?
Yeah, like you were saying, I started cramping on that final sprint, so I had to finish on the tail end of the second group. But I got like 15th-ish in the 15th, 16th,
So it wasn't great, but we did have a really good race yesterday. You getting second, that was awesome. But honestly, it was a really good and awesome weekend of racing.
Yeah, congrats to Chandler for taking the dub today. Huge ride for him in hot tubes. And yeah, we had an awesome time out here in Texas, and hopefully we'll be back next year.
It's been a great week out here in Austin. So much fun racing, so hot. And man, yeah, just an awesome weekend.
Yeah, it was great getting to race all the guys. We had a good TT, good second day, and honestly a pretty good third day. Just kind of died near the end, but overall it was an epic weekend.
Yeah, as always,
you know it, Bros Ride Bikes.